Hello and welcome to another video. This will be another Boogie2988 reaction. This is going to be a long video. Not something I normally do. Now the reason I didn't react to the last one of these was because it was 2 hours long or something like that. But I'm going to go ahead and react to this one. And now after I'll upload it too. Okay. So because of this video, I don't know if I'll have time for that one set today, but I will do a McJoke when I get short. I still need to upload that update, I just realized. So, anyways, let's get into this reaction.
Now, if you guys know anything about me, I like travel content. I don't know if any of you guys have watched any of my travel content. Not a lot of people have. I know it's very different from what I normally do. I like to go to weird museums. Ripley's, believe it or not. Has anybody here done the Meow Wolf experience here in town? Anybody done Meow Wolf? You did Meow Wolf. If you haven't done Meow Wolf and you like art installations and you just want to be like in another world for a little while, let me describe this experience for you. I have a video coming out so you'll be able to see it, but you go through a portal in a mall, and then once you're inside that portal, you end up in, I think she said it was Illinois, and it's this perfectly normal house. Keep in mind, inside a mall. And inside this perfectly normal house is shit's gone weird. So you start opening up cabinets and stuff. And number one, the family that lives in this place is missing. So it's an alternative reality game. You can try to figure out what happened to the family if you want to. Alternatively, there's creatures and monsters and like otherworldly art. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So the point that I'm telling you about this is because I did Meow Wolf and then did Six Flags. It was, one cost $40, one cost $100. Fuck Six Flags. Okay, all right. Anybody here who likes haunted house content? You guys, are you crazy about haunted houses? Anybody here? Am I the only people? You like being scared? Here's what I discovered about liking being scared. I talk about this at a lot of my conventions, so I don't mind talking about it here. Who here is familiar with my Francis character? Right, most of you? Okay. Do you guys know where Francis came from?
That's actually a good question.
Francis came from a variety of different places, but originally, he came from the first time I played Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, specifically on the NES. Now, I played video games prior to this, like any Atari 2600 game. Do we have any Atari 2600 fans out here? No. We found the one guy. Are you blind, sir? Because there's only like 8 pixels. He just likes pretty colors. He doesn't care. He's happy once it's just flashing on the screen. That was me, though. Growing up, I'm like 8 years old. I'm playing E.T. and Indiana Jones and Adventure. Adventure was the first RPG I ever played. It was I actually couldn't figure out what the hell was going on because I didn't know that arrow was a sword. You need to look this game up if you haven't seen it. Anyway, I graduated to the NES, and I'm now old enough to where I understand the concept of video games a little bit better. Run to the right, jump on the thing, beat the level, right? It's not just a thing I do because I'm 4 and it's pretty, right? And so I'll never forget, I'd taken a trip down to Florida, and I had finally got to World 8-1 on Super Mario Brothers. And back then, by the way, we just couldn't look up on the internet how to beat a game. You had to figure it out. And if you were lucky, there were some kids in your neighborhood who also had that game, who's also played it, and they can tell you, oh my God, I found a warp world in World 1, 2, and that makes, you know, eventually Nintendo Power existed. R.I.P. Nintendo Power. That would give us some clues, right? But I worked hard to get to level 8-1. That was not an easy achievement for my 10-year-old brain. Yes, I was 10 when the NES came out. So I died and did not know that you can continue with Super Mario Bros. Did you guys know that game has a built-in continue? I know it now. I didn't know it at 10. I just thought that meant I was going back to World 1. And I threw that controller across the room and I went, fuck! And that's the day I realized I was Francis. Now, throughout high school, and this is a little darker area. I don't normally talk about this in a lot of YouTube videos. I save this for conventions and stuff, but in high school, I was very much my character Francis. I don't like to admit that, but it's true. I
like that he's given insight on how Francis was, created and what started that in the first place. Because when Boogie started his channel, he did this Francis stuff for videos, freak out videos. He's one of the few people that did it before McJuggernuggets. So there's quite a bit of channels out there that started doing freak out videos because of McJuggernuggets, but there are a few channels out there that beat McJuggernuggets to the punch before Jesse started doing those types of videos. There's 3 channels I can name right now that did it before he did. Boogie2988 is one of them. So
smash a controller from time to time. I was also pretty famous for smashing my head into the wall when I got frustrated. I once picked up a desk and I got in trouble for reading a Stephen King book during class. Which honestly, listen man, if you're reading and you get in trouble for reading, what has happened to the world? Okay, anyway, so I picked the desk up and I threw it across the room. Classic Francis stuff, right? And later in life, I realized I just don't get to feel emotions like other people do. I have to kind of be very careful with my emotions because I'm a very sensitive young girl. I feel all the things, man. I feel when I am sad, oh, am I sad. When I am angry, ooh, am I angry. When I'm in love, oh, I fall so hard. And when I'm scared, see, I'm bringing it back. This makes sense. When I am scared, I am so scared. It's insane. But when you go to a haunted house, it's like filming a Francis video for me. For one brief 3-minute moment, you know you're safe, but it's still scary. You get to feel scared in a safe environment. Same as a smash room. Is there any smash rooms here in Dallas? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Rage rooms, smash rooms? You get to be very angry for 30 minutes in a safe environment. How amazing is that? So I was experiencing these things, and then I just found out that's actually just what therapy is. I thought therapy was just like sit around and talk about your feelings and shit. But no, it's a place to feel your feelings in a safe environment. Here I was abusing haunted houses and rage rooms as my therapy. Well, I tried real therapy. Recommend it. I do. It's nice. I think probably I'm the sanest I've ever been. Now, that's like saying this car has been wrecked today. It's the least wrecked it will ever be. I'm probably never going to be sane, I'd like to think. I think I'll always be a little bit crazy. I like being a little bit crazy. Who here is a little bit crazy? Yeah, it's nice being a little bit crazy, isn't it? It's fun. I mean, let's be honest, okay? If you're spending your Saturday at a retro gaming convention, hunting for that mint in box version of Little Samson, okay? We are not that well adjusted. If someone was sitting in this room right now thinking to themselves, you know what, I may own 800 video game cartridges, but by God, I'm normal. I have news for you. We're all a little bit weird, and there's something beautiful about that. You know, my favorite thing about conventions are, obviously I like to entertain, and I like to sit up here and have a captive audience of 50 people to sit here and listen to be full of shit. That's great, right? And I love seeing, this one specifically, I get to see my favorite people. I get to see Jay and Billy. Everybody Game Chaser fans in here. And look who else is there. 8-Bit Eric, he's also here for some reason. And but then Pro Jared is here. I haven't seen Pro Jared since he got canceled and then got uncanceled. Congratulations, Pro Jared, on that. Woo, who does that? It's like him and Louis C.K. Those are the two people that came back from it. Good job. But my favorite thing is just being in a room full of weirdos like me. It's just great. How great. Some of us are probably on various different of us just, there are, I will admit, some well-adjusted people that I meet at these things, and they just have one thing in common with the rest of us, which is we all just love a thing. We love a thing. We love our childhood. We love the games that we played. We love the characters that we fell in love with. We love, how amazing is it to come to something like this and be in love with something together? That's amazing. You go to a sports game, half the people there are mad. Fuck sports. I don't go to sports. And don't get me wrong, some of us love to hate video games, all right? But you see passion. I love just being in a room full of passionate people celebrating their passion. I'm just so glad to do that with you guys here today. So, that said, I love your cosplay, by the way. You look great. So, I like to do a Q&A. And they told me I have to get, I gotta keep it a little tight today, but I like to do a bit of Q&A. Here's everything I know a little bit something about, okay? And you can ask me about anything. I'm an open book. I know what it's like to be overweight, so we can talk about obesity issues if you want to. I'm entirely okay with that. I've been playing video games since 1978. My first gaming console was the Atari 2600. If a game existed, I probably played it. So we can talk about any video game console, any video game system. I've also been doing social media from TikTok to Instagram Reels to YouTube Shorts to YouTube itself. But on top of that, I've been making internet content since 1998. I've seen so much change in the 30 years I've been doing this. If you have any questions about just anything, hell, if you want directions to where you park your car, I'll help you find it. I don't really give a shit. Raise a hand. Anybody got a question for me today? Somebody? Right in front row. Heard about what? The Unity engine. I have heard good things. Okay, so he's talking about the Unity engine, and they're trying to retroactively. That was originally a free engine, wasn't it? And now, if you've got over 200,000 downloads for your game, they want how much did you say? 20 cents per install. Oh my God, that's going to destroy some indie developers, right? Because there's a lot of games that get downloaded, but nobody spends any money on it. A lot of games that are made in the Unity engine were given away for free. Are they accounting for that? Good Lord. Here's the thing about gaming companies right now. I don't know if you guys know this. Let's just be honest. I think it's okay to be honest from time to time. We live in an evil world, right? And there's a lot of evil people out there. And every once in a while, evil people are gonna win like that. And I think this is evil. Could you imagine giving away your game engine, telling indie developers you can learn on our platform, you can figure it out. We're gonna teach you how to code. You can create your first game. Your first game could be free because our engine is free. And then to turn around and ask that kid who's programming out of his bedroom for 20 cents per install over 200,000, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. That's an evil thing. Microsoft will fight it, right? Yeah, I mean, so I'm a huge Wizards of the Coast fan. Anybody here ever play Dungeons and Dragons? Big D&D fan. So D&D had something very similar happen to this, and I feel like we're going to see more of this cropping up. But Dungeons and Dragons was a dying game in the 90s, right? I grew up playing it in the 80s. It was originally made in like 1971. I think the original books were published then. Don't quote me on that. But I played it throughout the 80s and a little bit in the early 90s. And then the mid-90s, this game called Magic the Gathering came out. Every Dungeons and Dragons group broke up so they could start shuffling cardboard together instead. And so D&D was a bit of a dying game, especially as we approached the early 2000s. And they decided, look, we don't want this game to die. We're going to give away the D20 system for free. So the D20 system is you roll a D20, that's my charisma, that's my what. Roll D20 to do your checks and stuff like that. It's all based around the D20. They created an open license that allowed anybody to write a book based on that system. And it would cost you no money. You would automatically get approved. You could make whatever game system you want. You could make a supplement for Dungeons & Dragons. You could make your own gaming world using that D20. And the game flourished because everybody is now publishing these D20 rules. And I had a friend, and we ran this campaign, Dungeons & Dragons style, where I had a gunslinger because they had published like modern guns and modern weapons under the D20 system, so we knew how much damage they should do. We just imported a gunslinger into Dungeons & Dragons. I was playing Roland Deschain from the Gunslinger series, right? The Dark Tower series. So it was an incredible time for the game. And then not too long ago, they decided, they saw all of this money that's being made by these companies like Critical Role, or any Critical Role fans in the house. Excellent podcast, excellent game. Incredible products. I bought a lot of their miniatures at this point. They're fantastic. Also, the Amazon series they have, ooh, so good. Gotta watch it. Anyway, they retroactively decided that they were going to start charging people for this open license. Well, they probably would have won in court. That's the fucked up part about it. I mean, the people with money in this country have the power, and that company has a ton of money, because I have bought so many Magic cards. Did I mention they also public Magic the Gathering? Oh my God. If you ever donated $1 to me on Twitch, I spend it on Magic cards, okay? I want to buy Magic cards right now. Oh my God. You think what I did with food is bad? Wait till you see my garage. It's filled with bulk Magic cards from 30 years ago. God help us all, okay? I'm a hoarder. Thank God what I hoard is that big around, okay? Thank God. Anyway, they would have won, but they ultimately backed down due to public outcry. And that's what I think is so important that you guys understand, right? So many of you guys probably don't waste your time on social media tweeting about everything you hate all day, right? There's probably one or two of you in the room, me, but you know, most of you are probably well-adjusted enough to leave social media the hell alone, which is a good thing. Bo Burnham, one of my favorite comedians, any Bo Burnham fans in the room, he says that if you can live a life without performing on social media, you should. Let everybody else be the performers. You just live your happy life. Right? Don't let anybody else judge you. Don't put yourself out there for anybody else to judge. You be your own judge. Love yourself, right? I love Lil Bird. But it is important when companies like this do evil shit that you let your voice be known. Finally log back into that Twitter account and send some hate mail to that company. Post about it on your Facebook, whatever social media you use. Punish these companies when they do this evil shit. Because that's what ultimately gets them to back down. When they look at the bottom numbers and they realize the public outcry is worse than any amount of money they're going to make, they'll shut the fuck up and change their mind. It's the only thing that counts in this country is how you spend your money. And as a consumer, I'm telling you, together in this room, we probably don't have $1 million between us. But if we did, we'll never be rich. But we can make a difference when we all decide, you know, what we feel is right and wrong. And I hope that you guys remember that. I think it's amazing. So fuck the people at Unity for pulling that shit. I can't believe that shit. Fuck those guys. Good question though. What about you? You had a question earlier? So, in retrospect, when it came to YouTube, I overshared. And I think I'm glad that I shared at the level I did, because I've been told a lot of times it really helped a lot of people. And if I helped you, like, it makes my life, man. Even if all I did was keep you entertained for an hour during a dark period of your life, that's great. But if I could at least serve as a good example, that's amazing. If I could serve as a bad example, I'm happy with that. You know, the reason I got on YouTube was to serve as a bad example. Here I was, 35 years old, 600 pounds, stuck in my home, no friends, no family. I had nothing. And I thought, I'll get on YouTube and I'll make a clown out of myself because I like attention. You know, I'm wired that way. And people will see what my life has become, and I can say, hey, don't fuck up the way I did, right? So I'm glad I overshared in that regard. But
see, that might have been your goal at the start when you originally created your YouTube channel and all that, but now you inspire people positively. And honestly, people need to stop hating on you. I swear people hate on you because they think you're an easy target. And I'm really going to start cracking down on these channels that down talk Boogie. The only thing I'm upset with Boogie on is that thing with McJuggernuggets last year, that drama. But besides that, I have absolutely no issues with Boogie. And like I got a comment saying something about a horrible person. Like I hope you feel good about, like, you know, yeah, my friend William saw that reaction too and asked me about it. So, like, when it comes to these reactions, if you guys have some criticism on a YouTuber I do shorts for or that I react to, and it's not really hating on me, I'll leave the comment there. But if the person's being a wise ass to me, because I like and watch and support these YouTubers that I react to and watch, they give me shit for it, then I'm going to remove their comment, and I'm going to mention it in probably the following reaction. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick as well. So anyways, let's continue.
for my mental health, it has been real bad. I do think it's kind of, again, nice that I was able to share my lows online, because I know it helps other people feel less alone when they're at their lows. But there's some real sharks on the internet, man. And when they find that blood in the water, they go in, and they go in hard. And I don't know what makes people like that. I don't really understand, like, why someone wants to, like, get all up in the shit of, like, some 40-year-old man in Arkansas tweeting about video games. Like, why are you upset at that guy? I don't get it. But they sense that weakness, and they go in, and they hammer it. And I'm like, what are you doing in your free time, dude? Like get a job, get a hobby, get something. Like, what? How are you spending your time? But I will say one thing. I did say depression is a weakness there. And I think it's perceived as a weakness, but I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't necessarily mean me when I say this. I know some of you out there are dealing with depression or ADHD or hell, I met somebody with schizophrenia not too long ago, and I imagine a good number of us are somewhere on the autism spectrum, right? But I think
I am. Ariel is. So yeah, I've been dealing with autism all my life. Didn't know I had it until third grade, I think. So yeah.
You wake up every day and you have to mask because you're autistic, or you have to mask because you have depression, or you have to mask and come across as a healthy, normal person to keep down that job, or to keep your family off your back, or whatever it is you're doing. I think if you wake up every day and you battle your brain the moment you wake up, I think you're a fucking warrior. I think there's a bunch of normies out there who don't do that every day, and they're living a life that they take for granted, when some of you who are struggling have to wake up every day and get your mind right first. That's some bullshit that you have to do that. That's some bullshit. But if you're doing that, I think that gives you incredible strength. And I don't know, I love you for it. I think anybody in here is fighting this stuff, you don't have to raise your hand, I don't want to know, but a little bit of love. Can we give a little bit of love to the people out there struggling? Come on. Hey. But that said, social media is, man, if you can strike the right balance, I did not. Or if you're a sociopath like Keemstar, you're just built for it. That dude's a shark. Did anybody know, I hate to bring it up, but you guys see me get my ass beat in London? Everybody see? Oh, you saw that? Ooh. So let's talk about that. Let's get that out of the way because I got.
Yeah, I remember reacting to your videos before, around, and during, and after that fight that you did, Boogie. And some of those reactions got a lot of views too. A lot of people were interested in that, I can tell. In fact, I got 200 views on one of the reactions of you. It's crazy. And there's some funny and lighthearted comments they got on those reactions too. So
I got to earn my self-respect back here in Texas. How many people here has been punched in the face by a 400-pound man? Oh, you have. Me and you. We're the two people. Okay. It hurts, don't it? It is not a pleasant experience. And I'll tell you, it wasn't like this. He broke a bone or stung my face or anything like that. It was the ricochet. My brain went like that, hit the back of my skull, and I was immediately dazed. I was like, wow. I've been hit a few times. I got hit down in Houston when I was hanging out with the boys. I got hit back at home a few times. Had a friend punch me in the face with gloves on. I'm like, I'm ready for this. I was not ready for that. Woo! So I went directly into survival mode. And I just thought, I know I can take a beating. I just want to make it through however long, 3 minutes. If I can make it 3 minutes and I don't hit the ground, I'll be happy. Well, at about a minute and a half, that ref, who I was very mad at the time, saved my life, I think. Because I went back and watched that tape and I was like, I was dying. Like, Jordy was ready. Well, so here's the worst part about that fight. I went to the locker room afterwards and Jordy's getting his gloves cut off. And I'm like, good job, Jordy. You rocked my fucking world. He goes, I can't believe the beating you just took. And I'm like, I can't believe it either. That was incredible. I feel so alive. This is one of the best moments of my life, you know? And he's like, I'm like, I had no chance out there, did I? And he goes, I couldn't lift my arms. Really? He goes, yeah, I was so tired. I couldn't punch you another time. I was done, man. That was what our entire strategy was to let him wear himself out in a minute and a half. Knowing I could take a beating and then hopefully throw a few punches back. Well, I'll have you know, I landed one punch. Yeah! So I can officially say that not only am I a prize fighter, but I hit a guy. And that check cleared. So I got paid to do it. Yeah. Now, a lot of people have asked me if I will ever step back in the ring, and the answer is how much money you got. Because $10,000 is a lot of money, but not worth risking your life over, I think. And until I was in that ring, I didn't realize actually what was at stake. It took up to 2 hours before that fight, before the doctors in England finally signed off on me. They were not going to let me fight. Like, you could do permanent damage to your neck, permanent damage to your spine, your bone density's too low, your MRI didn't look that good. They're like telling me I can't do this, I can't do this. I'm like, well, I'm fucking going to. I'm going to walk out to that ring. You want to tell me to not fight with it? Yeah, they let us do it. It was a good time, though. It was a good time. Thank you for those of you who watched that. Thank you for tuning in on that. That was one of the best experiences of my life, and I wouldn't have got to do it if it wasn't for you guys. Thank you. All right, any questions on this side? We got any questions? How about you, right there? Ooh, dude, I'll get shirtless right now for $20. I don't really. He's referring to Rich from Review Tech USA, who, if you are not familiar with this, I'm going to educate you about internet culture for a little bit. I'm what they call, and I don't mind owning this at all. People are confused when I say this about myself, but I'm in a demographic called the lolcows, right? And the general idea of what a lolcow is, number one, we're somewhere on the autism spectrum. I got diagnosed earlier this year to find out that I'm on the autism spectrum. Number two, we tend to be not the most attractive people in the world.
You're autistic, Boogie? Okay, I actually did not know that. Interesting. Oh, you and I have that in common.
I'd like to think in the lolcow genre, I'm one of the better looking ones, which is to say, you know, still very ugly. But Some of the locales are considerably less attractive. You know, some of us look like...
Okay, this is a 52-minute video. Considering the kind of video this is, I'm going to split this into two. So part 2 of this reaction, if I don't do it tonight, I will be doing it tomorrow. So if he uploads a regular video tomorrow, that's going to be pushed to the next day. So I just want to give a heads up on that. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. There's other videos I want to do today. I'm going to try to do Devil Inside. So before I even upload this video, I'm going to upload that update video real quick, and then this reaction. So, and once this reaction is uploaded, then I will react to Afmal, who uploaded about 25 minutes ago. So, with that being said, I'm in this video here. Stay tuned for the next one.